Knicks Cavs tipping off the holiday hoop slate. Few NBA traditions like the Knicks on Christmas Day. And how about Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter? The Knicks had multiple massive comebacks in this game. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, coming back down 17 points in the fourth, 126-124 your final. Brunson, 34 points, really turned it on in that final frame. You had Mitchell, of course, for the Cleveland Cavs, had his 34 as well. Back and forth in the fourth quarter overall, but the Knicks, they moved to 21-9, their best 30-game start since 2012, as New York continues to stay hot in the Eastern Conference. I want to welcome in our NBA analyst now, John Gonzalez. And John, this Knicks team, you saw twice in this game. They started out missing 14 of their first 16 shots at that second quarter comeback and then turned it on in the fourth quarter. I believe Jalen Brunson at one point was a minus 31 heading into the fourth. How did this Knicks team, John, turn this thing around and pull out the victory here on Christmas Day?
Yeah, they started hitting shots, right? I mean, they couldn't throw it in the ocean in the first quarter. They looked terrible. The Cavs, they've been the team this season that couldn't really get their shot to fall. They shot the ball really well today, but the Knicks, just too much Jalen Brunson. And then Jordan Clarkson off the bench had 25. And then a guy who I think maybe some casual NBA fans aren't really clued into, Tyler Kolek, who had been really good for the Knicks in the NBA Cup. He's been used because Deuce McBride has been out, Landry Shamet has been out. Then again today, Josh Hart, he rolled his ankle. You know, fingers crossed on that one that he's going to be okay. But here comes Tyler Kolek, closing the game with 16 points, goes 4 or 5 from deep. He looked fantastic, and it was just too much Knicks offense in that one. And that's a tough loss if you're the Cavs when you're up 17 points at your rival on Christmas Day and you can't close it out. But credit to the Knicks, great win for them.
Mitchell Robinson as well had a couple of key offensive rebounds there as well in the fourth quarter that helped spur that Knicks run. I want to focus on Jalen Brunson for a second because he came in as the reigning NBA Player of the Week. We know his efficiency, how he scores the basketball. But in terms of the MVP race, if the Knicks can continue to keep this up, how do you think things shake out in terms of Brunson's chances of winning the MVP this year, John?
Winning might be a stretch. I think that there's a pretty clear top two guys in Joker and SGA, and your mileage may vary on which one you want to go with. I'm a Joker guy. SGA is the defending reigning MVP and Finals MVP. But after that, you've got three guys who are very worthy of finishing in the top five. Jalen Brunson being one of them, along with Luka and Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham obviously leading that first place in the Eastern Conference Detroit Pistons team. But Jalen Brunson, man, I mean, you saw what happened today. The Knicks needed every bit of those 34 points to pull out that win and move to 21-9. As you mentioned, their best start over that period. They've won 8 of their last 10. If not for Jalen Brunson, this team is probably, I'm not going to say that they're a middle of the pack Eastern Conference team, but they're certainly not second in the East and challenging presumptively for the Eastern Conference title. So yeah, in the MVP conversation, absolutely. I think it's probably going to be hard for him to climb into that 1 or 2 position, but somewhere in the 3 to 5 range, no doubt about it.
Certainly, if the Knicks continue to go on a run here and Brunson leads in the way he did today, certainly can see his name continuing to get some buzz in that MVP race. I want to switch to the Cavs side for a second here. You had a 17-point lead, as you mentioned, in the fourth quarter. They lose that to the third. What went wrong here for the Cavs? And on the other side, too, I wanted to talk about Evan Mobley. Having him back, first time in his NBA career, comes off the bench, obviously recovering from that calf strain. What did you see from him as well, John?
Yeah, getting Evan Mobley back was huge. He was on a minutes restriction, 25 minutes today, but he looked really good, almost a double-double, had a couple of assists. It looked like he was mobile. He had missed 13 days, Ryan, with that calf strain. And calf strains are awfully tricky, right? If it goes wrong, all of a sudden now you're running a risk of an Achilles, so you don't want to do that. And this has been the story for the Cavs all season long, where they haven't been fully healthy, right? I mean, Donovan Mitchell has been their lone constant, but Darius Garland missed a bunch of time with a toe injury. He looked great today, 20 and 10. Looks like he's starting to trust his body a little bit more. Jarrett Allen has been in and out of the lineup, and they just haven't been able to consistently miss shots. And on a day where they hit 52% from the floor and 43% from three, they got to be kicking themselves. Kenny Atkinson has to be wondering what they have to do to really get on a little bit of a run here. It looked like they had won a couple games coming into this, and they had a 17-point lead, and Donovan Mitchell goes for 34, and he's dunking on people, and you're thinking, this is it. Now we're going to finally get some momentum, but it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back for this Cavs team all season long, so they have to be pretty frustrated here.
1-8 now on the road on Christmas Day games all time for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You look at these two teams in the Eastern Conference and checking out the updated standings. You got the Knicks there right behind the Pistons, of course, 3 games. The Cavs in the 7th seed right now in the play-in tournament. You know, John, look, we're obviously a long way off from the playoffs and the play-in tournament specifically, but do you see this potentially, if the Cavs can get healthy, the Knicks can stay hot, as this being maybe a preview of what we could see in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Well, that's what we were all anticipating coming into the season, right, Ryan? The Cavaliers, who were #1 in the Eastern Conference all of last season, had the best offensive rating, had a top 10 defensive rating. We just expected in a weakened Eastern Conference that they'd be steamrolling everybody this season. That hasn't really been the case. The Knicks have been the team that we kind of thought that they were. I want to see more from the Cavs. Kenny Atkinson said exactly what you were just saying, that basically they got to get healthy, they got to start making shots, and then they'll look like the team that we anticipated. So I'm not quite sure about this being an Eastern Conference finals meeting. I think that the Knicks have a good shot at that. The Cavs have a lot of work to do, and I think that we need to start putting some respect on the Detroit Pistons name, right? I mean, they've been #1 in the Eastern Conference for a full third of the season. Cade Cunningham, as I mentioned, is a top 5 MVP candidate. They're 24-6. They have the second best record in the NBA behind only the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that the Pistons are legit. They're also a team, Ryan, that could end up adding before the trade deadline to beef up that team. So if the Cavs want to get into that conversation about being a contender in the Eastern Conference, they got some work to do.
Yeah, certainly Cunningham could be an MVP favorite. I know you got Joker and SGA, of course, but what he's done with the Pistons has been sensational this season. John, thanks so much for your insight. We always appreciate it, my friend. And you look at the largest fourth-quarter comebacks for the Knicks in the play-by-play era. This goes back to 96-97. You look at today's comeback, 17 points. That is the third largest fourth-quarter comeback for the Knicks dating back to that time. Pretty impressive what they were able to do to come back today. The Knicks, 3-game winning streak now on Christmas Day.
Cavs and Knicks from MSG kicking off our Christmas Day slate in the association. New York was shorthanded in Tuesday's loss at Minnesota, missing several key players, headlined by Jalen Brunson. ESPN reporting Wednesday Brunson expected to play today. Knicks enter the day second place in the East, 3.5 games back of the Pistons. Remember, with so many injuries to superstars in this conference, the race to be the beast of the East is wide open. Back here with Coach Avery Johnson and Tim Doyle. We've got the full game. Katie Mox, Tommy Tran getting you ready for that first of 5 games that we have in the NBA today. Cleveland, New York, Coach. We talked about all the injuries, some reinforcements that are on the way. What catches your eye when it comes to the keys to today's game?
Well, the keys for this game start first with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They got to rebound the basketball. You know, in their last game against New York, they got outscored 40. They got out rebounded 48-32. That's not good. They're gonna and free throws. You know, 36-18. So they got to rebound the basketball. When you don't rebound the basketball, that leads to second chance points, more free throw opportunities for your opponent. Donovan Mitchell must outplay Jalen Brunson today. When you talk about the 2 best players on the court, Christmas Day game, you got to do your job. And Donovan Mitchell has to have the better game today. When you look at the New York Knicks, they got to defend the 3-point line. The Cleveland Cavaliers are third in free throw attempts in the NBA. They attempted 49 threes against the New Orleans Pelicans. So they got to defend the 3-point line. So that means defensively, your defense cannot start inside the 3-point line. It has to start 5 steps above the 3-point line to try to minimize the Cleveland Cavaliers' success. So looking forward to this game. It's the first of our 5 games today, and just thrilled. I'm going to be watching NBA basketball all day.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about Coach watching football, right? He's going to be locked into the NBA slate. We have seen some line movement here, though, Tim. Now the Knicks are laying 5. This total 241.5. I did see that you like the Cavs. Are you still willing to take them at 5?
Yeah, I mean, this is a high total. Check this out. For the first game of the day, you know, I know the big cat from Barstool, he loves betting those Christmas Day unders. So 240 points, a lot of guys still waking up early in the morning for this early tip-off. I do like the Cavs. Now, they're going to have to make threes. No one in the NBA, to Coach's point, shoots more threes than Cleveland. And Donovan Mitchell is averaging a career-high 30 points per game. Now, grew up in New York City. His daddy works for the New York Mets. Like, this is the stage you want to be on. Knicks fans are still kicking themselves that they didn't draft him when they had a chance to draft him, as Rick Pitino told the Knicks organization to do back in the day. But Cleveland's had a disappointing start to the season. Last year, their bench was fantastic. This year, their bench has been non-existent. They're going to need more contributions off the bench. Knicks have been outstanding at home. I think this game goes right down to the wire. And the points, Katie, the points are the difference. Give me Cleveland as the dog.
All right, so the dogs are barking, according to Timmy D. When we look at the top teams in each conference, right now you got Detroit sitting atop of the East and, of course, OKC in the West. But, Avery, when you look at this, like, what are the teams that you're most interested in that you think are going to go far heading into Christmas?
OKC is the team to beat. At the end of the day, I don't know if there's a team out there that can beat